Okay, so yesterday morning we posted a video when GME was trading at 23 bucks and it looked like it was just going to continue lower. We pointed out it was a good entry to get on GME calls. So since that mark of $23, it's now at almost 32. So congratulations to those of you that took the trade. But some statistics is what we're going to review right now to help you understand if you missed the entry yesterday, what are the most active strikes, and basically what is the expectation of the market participants of how high this thing could actually fly this week and next week. So these contracts, June 14th, 2 day till expiration. I'm recording this on June 12th, 2024. And yes, it is a big day, FOMC, a meeting day. Don't miss the next video. We're going to post on that. But so let's go and review these strikes right here, guys. And see exactly what's going on. And then we're going to compare these to the next week to help you understand what actually is happening. So this week in the 20 strike, which basically the strike that Keith Gill is holding, the only thing, his contracts are expiring next week, right? So for this week's expiration, very light volume in the 20 strike, pretty decent size volume in the 25 strike. Pretty decent volume in the 30 strike, 26,000 contracts, 15,000 volume in the 35 strike, 36,000 in the 40 strike, and let's see if people are thinking they can actually get above 40 in the next 2 days. So clearly there are some market participants that are thinking, okay, 45 is a good level, 16,000 in the 50 strike. There's also just various strikes with smaller amounts. So basically, not a whole lot of people are thinking it's going to go above 65, right? Basically, the last decent volume is in the 60 strike, so 13,000 contracts. A little bit, actually 4 times less in the 65 strike. And then from there, the numbers are just a little bit off on the 70 strike by half the size of the 60 strike. So altogether, guys, these are some pretty strong volumes. But these are the trades that could actually generate you a ton of money if the move was to happen actually this week. So somebody that will buy the option for next week, they would just simply try to copy the expiration of Roaring Kitty, which makes sense, right? So right off the bat, if we go and we take a look at the same strikes, we just look for this week, you're going to see that right off the bat, I mean, there it is. Okay, so there's 169,000 contracts. That's 9 days till expiration. But as a trader, just because you buy next week expiration does not necessarily mean that you're not going to sell this contract this week, right? So I think an important thing to look at, I mean, this is the open interest. See how this open interest is actually going to shift over the course of next 24 to 48 hours, because that's going to give you an idea, okay, whether people are actually pulling the trigger on these this week instead of waiting for next week. And that's what I'm saying, like the same strike for next week. I mean, for this to pay anything, right, it goes for like $11 roughly. I mean, this stock price would actually need to hit a level like 42 just for you to double the money. So yeah, the options are just ridiculously fucking overpriced. And that's why a lot of traders would be looking at a higher strike. For example, like the 30 strike, you got 50,000 contracts here. But if we're to break this down, so Gill is holding 120,000 of these contracts right here in the 20 strike. So outside of that, that means there's just shy of 50,000 of the same strike, same expiration that somebody else have purchased. So at this point, it's not just him holding 120,000 contracts. Okay, somebody else stepped in and got an accumulative of 49,963. So I'm sure that number is going to go up today as well. 25 strike, 27,000 contracts. You've got in the 30 strike, 50,000 contracts. So between the difference of what he's holding in the 25 strike, in the 30 strike, okay, you've got also an accumulative of above 120,000 contracts. You take the difference between what he's got and the amount right here. Add this amount to it and add this amount. I mean, you're right there. You're at 127, 128,000 contracts in the strikes that are close to his strike or at his strike. So basically, the public is matching the number of contracts that he is holding. That is a good sign for anyone that is bullish on GME. Now, if we're to look at the highest strikes, that really gives you a better idea of the sentiment of how high people believe this thing can actually move higher. So if we take a look at the highest strikes, such as 40 strike, you got 42,000 contracts. So basically, when you compare this week's strike and next week's strike, everyone is expecting. The expectations are, the biggest expectations are for next week, but it doesn't mean that a big move to the upside is not going to take place today or tomorrow or Friday. So most of the market participants clearly voicing their opinion by buying next week expiration. So if we're to compare this week's 40 strike, what we look, 16,000 contracts are trading that expire this week compared to 42,000 that expire next week. And then in some higher strikes, we got some strong action as well. In the 50 strike, we got 38,000 contracts. We've got 40,000 contracts in the 100 strike. We've got 45,000 contracts in 125 strike. So expectations are clearly to the moon going into next week. But again, sometimes, for someone that's buying the 125 strike, let's say for next week, I mean, for this trade to come together, it would need, like, we almost by definition for these contracts to make money and maintain their value would need to see the move to the upside to begin today. Because if today is the day where things go sideways, then these contracts will decay, probably by not as much. But with every day that GameStop is unable to break above 40 or above 50 level, I mean, these are not going to do too good. So, guys, there is enough evidence basically saying that, a lot of people are hoping for a move beyond $125 in GME going into next week expiration, 9 days till expiration. Okay, but it doesn't, for some of these trades to start making money and materialize, the move would really have to begin to evolve now on June 12th, June 13th, June 14th. So this is why this week expiration is the contract that's going to make you a ton more money. So if you're looking at a 5x trade or a possibility of putting 10x, 20x trade, you're not going to be able to do it with next week's contracts, but you could get a 5x, 10x, 30x trade with this week's contracts. So now, based off the video we posted yesterday when GME was trading at 23 bucks, okay, your 30 strike contracts, they were going at like $1.50, so we're up like 3x. And so for these contracts that we're buying yesterday, you would have to basically, all we would need to see is a move to 45 bucks for them to do 10x. All right. Now, the math is not going to be the same. If you're going to be buying these today, you're probably going to end up paying $5 for them. And that's the difference between the entry yesterday and today. You're paying 3 times more. Therefore, it's almost impossible for you to buy the same strike and get the same kind of outcome because you're paying 3 times more for the same options that we're paying for yesterday. So, with that said, if you're buying the 30 strike today, could it actually, if GME went to 40, you would more than double. If GME went to 45, 50, you're looking at 3x, 4x type situation, type trade. So entries matter when you're trading, guys. 1 day or sometimes just a few hours or sometimes even 10 minutes could be a difference in your cost of buying the options. So guys, if you'd like to get sharper with this and catch the best entries possible, then stick with 30 market moves. That's what we do. We trade weekly options. And based on what I've shown you guys, if you're trying to land a huge trade, it would by definition have to happen this week, not next week, because options are priced in such high expectations going to next week. The only way to win and make a ton of money on this trade right now is if the move in GME to the upside, instead of beginning next week, will actually begin today. So if you have any questions about what I've shown you so far, guys, you can go to 13marketmoves.com or 13mmtv.com. Now, for some of you, you may be looking for an easier trade, because really what we're trying to do here is time. It's all about timing when you trade. And so if you're not a very active trader, or you're like, man, timing is too difficult for you, or whatever, then there's two ways to approach this, okay? One is you can take a very simple trade that's called Trumpy Dance Memecoin and just hold it for 150 days, and that trade is the easiest trade in the world, and you're gonna make a ton of money, okay? Now, the second thing you can do is you can join the alert group at 13 Market Moves, and we can help you out with timing some of these trades there. The third thing actually you can do is you can study the fuck out of the charts, and you can invest some time instead of getting the alerts and trying to educate yourself based off the chart. What are some of the better entries and exits for you? So with that said, let's look at the chart of GME here real quick. Guys, the chart is solid as a rock, going for a period of consolidation before a major breakout to the upside. Trumpy Dance, okay, go to deckscreener.com, type in Trumpy Dance, you can pull up this chart, you can look at this, guys, it's an explosive move, okay, coming to the upside here. So congratulations for if you already got in here. But guys, don't let this consolidation trading range fool you. There is a major breakout that's going to make these moves right here on the chart earlier look like nothing. Okay, so the move that's about to take place in Trumpy Dance Memecoin is going to absolutely blow most people's minds, because they never seen this kind of shit ever in the history of fucking meme coins. So not too late, okay, if you're looking for a simple trade that you just buy and hold, no options involved, but it works like an option because it's a bet on Trump win. So if you believe Trump is going to win, then hold on to this for 150 days and you're going to be a fucking winner. Let's roll.